Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, it doesn't work without you guys. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football guys. Wake up, wake up, wake up there. There we go. So here we are. We sit 8 days, 7 hours, 14 minutes, and 30 seconds away from the last chance to tag anybody. So we have that much time to get Dak Prescott's deal done and or tag him or tag Amari Cooper or anybody else. Um, the Dallas Cowboys, of course, always seem to drag their feet when it comes to contract issues. A lot of people are saying the reason why the Cowboys haven't signed him to a long term deal is because, well, they don't believe in him. Well, I won't go that far. I will say the Dallas Cowboys try to be shrewd with their money and they like the limelight and they keep trying to figure out ways to reinvent the wheel, and sometimes that ends up backfiring on them. It did with D Law last year. It did with Zeke Elliott in both situations. I don't think that you got the players at 100% for the season, and I think it really tabled the season. That's my belief, and I'll stick with that. So hopefully they get something done in the very near future because it's not just those two guys. They need to figure out what free agents they don't want to have the opportunity to go elsewhere. Be that a Joe Looney, Cam Fleming, a Jeff Heath, a Robert Quinn, Antoine Woods. You can go ahead and do the exclusive tag and go ahead and give him a contract. He's not going to go there. But you got guys like Malik Collins, and of course you've got Byron Jones. And it seems to be that the Dallas Cowboys are going to let everybody kind of test the market and see where it goes. I'm beginning to wonder if they're going to get Amari Cooper done and let him actually go out on the market. But I don't know what the Cowboys are doing because, well, they are the great mystery. We keep going through. I did a little test live stream last night using the new Mevo Start as well as my other two Mevos, which is great having wireless cameras and things and having the resolution from the Mevos. It was really cool. But it seems that we constantly, it amazes me because it reminds me of after the 2016 season where the Giants' battle cry was, "We beat the Cowboys twice," even though they ended up losing the first round of the playoffs and they didn't get any further than we did. That was their battle cry. The Eagles, the battle cry is that second game. They keep coming in here talking about, well, Carson Wentz won when it counted. He beat Dak Prescott and blah, blah, blah. I get that. Okay, I understand that. But you can't, a Hall of Fame career isn't made up on one game. And I'm happy that the Eagles, for you guys' sake, that you got that victory, even though what did that victory do? You got to the playoffs, but you got a later draft picks. You got a harder schedule. And if things hold true as they have since 2003, 2004, you won't repeat as division champions. You won't. Oh, and your quarterback got a concussion in the playoffs. So there's that to deal with. And you can only get so many of those things where you can continue to play and function. But be that as it may, enjoy your victory. But what's been bothering me on this thing is I still believe it's a team sport. You need a great quarterback, but a great quarterback doesn't mean a whole lot if there's nothing else there with them. I've never seen a team win the Super Bowl with the worst defense and the worst special teams ever. Now, you could go through and say, well, Peyton Manning, statistically during the seasons, the Colts' defense was one of the worst in football. But when it came to playoffs, they turned it up a notch where you kind of said, did the 85 Bears come around and put on the Colts uniform? Because they played lights out when it counted in the playoffs. Our defense played good at times, at other times, not so much. And I wanted to go through and look at the Rams game because clearly it was like Jekyll and Hyde between the Rams game versus the Eagles game. And I can't say for sure if this was the case or not. But I got to think that not everybody there was a Jason Garrett fan. I think a lot of people had the Jason Garrett fatigue. It seemed like after the edict of, we got to make a deep run into the playoffs, or Jason Garrett's gone, it seemed like when we went into that Ram game that team was kind of like, yeah, okay, we could just let it fly. Because that team looked like the Dallas Cowboys you expected to see all season. Even though their first three drives started on the 12-yard line, the 10, and the 3, they scored 2 touchdowns. They ended up blowing out a hot Rams team. They looked like they were up for the game, that they had adrenaline, that they were ready to go, that they were going to knock somebody's teeth in. And it was after that we started hearing Jerry Jones talk about, Jason Garrett is the guy, that we believe in, that he can lead us into the playoffs. And you start to feel like all we had to do was make the playoffs and Jason Garrett was going to stay. Now, I ended up having, back in 2017, with Cowboys legend. Cowboys legend, said, after I said, you know what? When Zeke was suspended, when we had statistically 3 of the worst games ever in the history of the Cowboys, I kind of said in my mind, maybe this is the time where you I was on the fence, that you kind of look at it and say, maybe we're better off if we don't make the playoffs, that if we end up losing a bunch of games, that it ends up bringing change. And Jason Garrett, maybe he's gone. And we start over anew. We get higher draft picks. And you look at that point in that moment being the impotence of getting better. Because think about 2015, how abysmal that season was. But because we had that season, we had an easier schedule. We had the number 4 pick where we got Zeke Elliott, then we got Jalen Smith. We lucked out and got Dak Prescott. We got Malik Collins. We got Anthony Brown. Because we were bad, we were able to pick at not only that first round pick high, that the second round pick was almost like a first round. You were picking 36, and each round was higher picks. And that was an influx of talent. And sometimes you got to be bad. You got to hit rock bottom before you get better. And I looked at that season and said, it's time. It's time to get Jason Garrett out of here and start anew. But they got close. They turned things around a little bit in the season. They said, we'll give him one more chance. So when you look at this, I don't look at this game as the Cowboys lost and didn't make the playoffs. I look at it actually as a victory, because that ended up being Jason Garrett gone. A new attitude, new coaches, players that are now having to figure out, I got to perform for this new guy. Everybody now on their toes and realizing I got to fight for a job. And the Cowboys going through and saying, free agents, we're going to see who we really want to be here, who wants to be here. And maybe that this will be the game that we look at and say, thank you, Philadelphia. Thank you for putting us out of our misery. Because I've got to look at this game, and I started watching some of the highlights of that other game. And the Rams game, they look fired up. But as I watched this game, I want you guys to watch a few clips on here. On the second drive of the Eagles, what I saw, I just look at these angles and things and the lack of pursuit. Just watch this run. Okay, here you got my man filling right in here. He's being blocked, but my man right here is wide open. You're trying to shed the block right here. Okay, this should be taken down for a loss. Look, my man breaks down here, stops. You got pursuit right here by Michael Bennett. Literally, flat-footed. I'm just like, what? Literally. And we're now trying to do shoestring tackles. That play, 2nd and 6, they get 8 yards on it. On what should have been taken down for an easy, loss. All right, so let's look at another one here. Swing pass. Okay, I got you. Swing pass. Boom. All right, boom. You got pursuit angle. Now watch this lazy run and pursuit angle. Let me back it up a little bit. Watch, and here's the thing. Oh, let me go back to this too. This is the play before. I'm old school, and what I was taught is you put 11 hats on the ball. Just because a guy is getting hit, you're supposed to keep hitting him and try and knock the ball out of him. Now look at this. All right, so we got them falling on the ground. You got Jalen Smith in here. We got all these people around, and watch. Everybody just kind of standing around. Here we go. Swing pass, okay? You see that angle? He comes up here and then there. I'm just like, where is this? Does he look like he's in any hurry to try and make a tackle? Look at this. How the hell, if you are really trying to stop somebody, that everybody takes a pursuit angle like this? Let's watch that again. I'm just like, you see the Eagles. Did you see that on the sidelines? Let's watch. Oh, I'm too far back. Okay. But I want you to notice how the Eagles in there are fired up. Everybody's kind of rolling around, lackadaisical. Look at that. That is some of the worst pursuit angles I've ever seen in my life. To me, that was just like, I don't really care. I don't really care. D-Law, look at the pass rush on it. Okay, so D-Law, right here. 1-on-1, boom. Boom. I just look at that and I see Eagles fired up. I see poor pursuit angles. I seem like, to me, it looked more like people were just there lining up and doing the bare minimum. I didn't see any fire or any passion. And that makes me wonder, after looking at the game before against the Rams, a Rams that were fired up and everything else, that were, on a 3-game winning streak, the Cowboys were fired up in that game. They were out playing lights out. This game, it was like we were watching a funeral. And that's where I kind of wonder, because this is where Jerry Jones turned around and kind of said, Jason Garrett, he's the right man to lead us into the playoffs and to coach this team. And I don't want to say that the team threw the game, and I'm not trying to belittle the victory that the Eagles got, but you have to wonder in the back of your mind if some of these players are looking at this like, we win this and get into the playoffs, we got Jason Garrett coming back. And subliminally, it killed emotion. But I'm not going to look at this as a bad thing from now on. I am actually going to thank you, Eagles, for putting us out of the Jason Garrett misery. So that's all I have to say about that. I've got some work I need to get doing. I've got to go to the post office sometime today and get your shot glasses out to you guys. And I appreciate all the support from everybody, because without you guys, I can't do this. So that being said, we'll keep you up to speed on any news on the Dallas Cowboys. I'm Mark Holmes, and I'll see you guys soon.